hair, and it's Lord Rick. I bet you guys didn't know I could do ventriloquism. Did you see my mouth move? I'm just fucking around, guys. Trust me, I am not gonna audition on America's Got Talent. But what I am gonna do for you guys today is people want to learn about nectar and wax. Because as you guys know, I'm a very big cannabis advocate. Very 420 friendly. I've been for 20 years. I've never hid it. Even back then, when it was kind of sacrilege to even talk about in public, because you had to go buy it from private people or grow it yourself. Now you can find it at every dispensary in Nevada and quite a few other states. So it's more abundant. You hear about 420 on social media all the time, the news. It's everywhere. It's everywhere because it's food, medicine, and everything in between. And my buddy James, he wanted me to do a video because he's like, because really, back when I started off smoking 420, we just roll a joint. We just roll a small little joint. Or we smoke a bowl out of a metal pipe, which I'm still kind of accustomed to. I'm a little old-fashioned. But there's different ways to smoke it and eat it. And I make edibles all the time, but I also am looking for new ways to smoke it. More classy ways, perhaps. More concentrated ways. Because when I smoke out of a bowl, people are always like, oh, because I'm a social smoker. So I do a lot of ghost town, and I'll hike, and I'll backpack, and I'll smoke a bowl. I'll pull out my pipe out of my pocket. And people are all like, man, it must get you fucked up. How do you hike? How do you do this? How do you do that? Well, honestly, when you smoke out of a bowl, it's not as concentrated. Most of the THC burns up. So if there's CBD in it, you probably get more CBD or a medical effect rather than a recreational effect. However, if you want a good recreational effect and you're staying home, notice I say staying home because you don't want to drive when you smoke concentrates because it can make you woozy or tired or whatever the case is. Personally, myself, I've been smoking for 20 years and people are always asking me, well, I'm worried, what if I get high and stuff? Well, maybe that's you, but when you are accustomed to a cannabis lifestyle, it just becomes mainstream. Before I go into work, I might smoke a joint or smoke a bowl or whatever the case is. So people ask me about my Lookah because they're like, what the hell is a Lookah? Well, I'm going to show you guys what a Lookah is, okay? This is my Lookah right here. I'll put it up to the camera so you guys can see it. It's just a tiny little device. It's not bong sized. I have bongs and water pipes and all these big bulky things, but it's just a small little thing that fits in your pocket. And so if you're going on vacation and maybe you're sitting down at the beach and you're enjoying sunset, you may want to pull out this. I'm kind of a classy guy. Everybody knows that. Yeah, I like the simple things and I try to be affordable and I don't live in some huge mansion and own all these Hummers and sports cars. I live a pretty basic, simple life because I know what it's like to be homeless on the streets. I have struggled throughout most of my life, but I'm at a place in my life where I can kind of enjoy the finer things in life. And so I enjoy the finer things in life. Smoking good bud, good scenery in the mountains, pretty women. Those are things I can appreciate as a man. And being that I love to smoke, I like to integrate smoking into my lifestyle. If I'm going to watch a movie, I'll smoke my Lookah during it or before. If I'm going to go driving in a ghost town, I'll smoke my bowl. Or if I sit around a campfire, I might pass around a joint with friends. But I try to enjoy the finer things in life. Good eats, good mountain scenery, pretty women, nice fine wine, the best bud on earth. And I can assure you I get some of the best bud on earth. I can assure you I get some of the best wax on earth. This is called Candy Pez. It actually tastes, when you smoke it, you can taste it in your mouth. It's like Pez candy. It's just totally amazing. And I have all different flavors. And there's bubble gum. There's this stuff called that I got gold, and it's just real pristine. So they all come in different strains and flavors if you're into that. And I'm going to show you guys And it comes in a little glass thing. And the reason why it's a little glass thing is so you can dab. And what happens is there's a little button right here where my finger is. And you'll hold down the button. So I can't get too close. It'll cut me off camera unless I like bend down here. But I'll show you guys everything step by step. And then you guys can decide if you want to set up a rig like I got or go out and buy similar smoking mechanisms. I like to vape my bud. I used to buy vapes and buy the cartridges that were filled with oil, and that's fine. But honestly, it doesn't help you as much medically. It's great for public because nobody knows what you're smoking in the vape. But when you vape oil, in my opinion, it's not as good as vaping nectar or wax. And that's what I do now. I vape nectar or wax, and it does melt down a little bit into an oily substance, so the coils heat it up and you can smoke it. But this is the Lookah, okay? Lookah Seahorse Pro. It's a limited edition. It's gold. Very classy. Go out with friends. I pull this baby out. It's classy. And I like that classy image, that classy look, just like my clothes. A lot of my clothes, I have some awesome clothes, man. You know, because I'm a very organized person, so I love to match my shoes and my sneakers with different shirts and clothing. And I'm real big on certain things, because why can't any of you guys have the finer things in life? So you don't have to be rich to enjoy these or enjoy this mechanism. And so I'm going to teach you guys a little bit about it. Sorry if the film seems a little cut, but sometimes the battery runs out and I got to restart the film or whatever because this is pre-recorded. Anyhow, this is Candy Pez, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. It's very chunky, as you guys can see. It just comes in. It's just your typical standard wax. It's a little harder. Okay, the button's right here. And I can't really show you guys it, but I'll show you guys the settings. Blue, if you click this twice real fast, it'll turn from blue to purple. So blue, when it lights blue here, it's mild. If you change it to purple, it's medium. If you click it twice again, it'll turn white. That is super high and potent, meaning the higher you turn on the Lookah, the hotter the ceramic gets at the end. Now this is ceramic at the end. It's just a little ceramic nub, okay, and there's a hole, but the coil around it, or the ceramic, I should say, heats up. And then what you'll do is you'll hit the button and you'll put it over here. I'll show you guys from kind of like this angle, but you put it on here. And you can either hold it down, I move it back and forth, and you take a hit. It's that simple. You take a puff. And so what I'll do is I'll take a puff and I'll show you guys. But the end's going to heat on up. And, you know, people probably wonder why I'm doing this film, but I want to do some cannabis education as well. I try to have our YouTube channel be a little bit more educational when it comes to teaching people different things. Because, I mean, honestly, in life, people would not know the things they do if it wasn't for social media or YouTube, because it allows us to kind of teach each other different things in general. And I'm always learning new things about cannabis and cooking and the paranormal, so I like to be a well-educated guy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow it to heat up for 2 seconds. So I'm going to hold it down about 3 seconds, and I'll put it on into the wax. Very simple. Now that's low setting. And I'm going to click this twice. You'll see the light flash. And we'll go to medium setting. See it flashing? Now it's purple. The reason why they call it dabbing is watch what I'm doing. I'm dabbing this. The heated end into, you use the glass, because you don't want to use a piece of paper or something that's going to catch on fire or get heated up. You want to use glass, because when the wax or the nectar gets down, this won't be affected. I mean, you You could technically touch the tip of this with the glass and there will not be an issue. But this is I just opened this, and you know, some of these, when I was up by Mount Shasta or Weed, California, I went to Mount Shasta, stayed at a cabin. I had gotten a bunch of wax and nectar. They had buy one, get one free. So I was like, that's a sweet deal. So I ended up buying like six of these. It'll last you a really long time because when you dab it, it doesn't burn off a lot. A tiny, tiny bit when you dab burns away. A tiny, tiny amount. And you get most of the concentrate because it really doesn't burn up. If you smoke, you could put this in a joint, you could put this in a bowl with regular basic herb or marijuana. But if you really want to get the full effect, the medicinal effect or recreational, depending on how much you smoke or what setting you have it on, then this is the way to go. Because you get, like if you put it in a bowl, you're going to burn up quite a percentage of the CBD and the THC. Unlike this, you're getting a concentrated amount. So you only need to hit this once or twice, and that's it, unless you're looking to really party and see the gates of heaven. You know what I'm saying? I don't smoke that. I usually only smoke this at home or at a friend's house. I mean, I don't sit there in my vehicle and drive around like this. You know, you can't. And plus, it's too strong. I mean, if you take one or two hits, you're definitely not going to be all out of it or slow or dangerous. But there's a lot of, I mean, if you take a longer hit on this or you change the settings and you take multiple hits, then I would recommend staying home completely. Because it's just like anything, any medicine you take in life. You take more, you feel effects. You take less, you may not have any effects. I mean, and personally myself, I never smoke to really get high. I smoke because I enjoy the flavor. I enjoy the social part of it. I enjoy the CBD medicinal benefits. And wax and nectar has CBD in it. So I'm going to take one more hit on medium. And you see, last setting, this is going to, you want to clear it too before I go on, because the hole will get clogged once the wax hardens. So you just want to make sure you clear it a couple times, hold it for 2-3 seconds. I'm holding it. Just clear it, because you're going to have some wax inside the hole from dabbing it. It's going to push some wax up inside. You want to smoke that out. Don't waste it. But now I'm going to change the settings. These vapes and these Lookahs are all about button power. Like if I hit the button 5 times real quick, it'll shut this off. I don't ever need to shut it off, because the only time it will come on is if I press the button anyhow. But if you have kids around, you don't want them messing with it, you may want to shut it off when you're done using it. Safety feature. But you click it 2 more times, and you guys will see I get a white light. This is a higher potency. So this is, if you're going to stay home for the evening, watch some movies, instead of having a couple brews, you may want to just put this on high and take a couple hits. You know, I mean, it's better than putting poison in your liver, correct? A lot of people like to drink and they don't understand how much more harmful it is than hitting the Lookah here. So anyhow, I'm going to hit the Lookah on high. Now you guys are going to see me really blow clouds. This is it on high, and I'm going to take a long hit just to show you kind of. I could feel that time. Longer hit, more potent it becomes. The higher you turn this, the more potent it is. So you have mild to medium to high. A lot of times I'll put it on high. I only need 1-2 hits. Put it on low, I may have to hit this 5-6 times. Batteries don't last forever. You have to charge with the USB. You just plug it in the wall with the USB. After an hour it charges, you're good to go for a day or two. as you guys can see, they're cubes. It takes a lot to melt this. Like, this is not just going to like melt right off. That's why you need such a hot ceramic end, because this would not be good in your bowl or if you were to roll a blunt. I have stuff I'll show you that's good for rolling in blunts and bowls. But give me a second and I'll switch these out. But I showed you guys how the Lookah works. I could take it apart, but I think it's more funner that you learn. You can buy the coils, which go up, this screws off, and you can put a new coil in when the coil eventually goes. I don't see it being as big of a problem with these because the coils don't really get any oil on them per se. The only thing that touches the oil and the wax would be the ceramic end. And you guys can see, if you look real careful, at the end, it might get blurry just because it gets out of focus, but there's some wax on the tip. I'm going to want to heat the tip up for a few seconds to burn that off. You can see it. You're just burning it off. It's just excess. Because you don't want to waste it. Problem is with a lot of wax and a lot of nectars that you buy or concentrates is that they're expensive. So if you don't burn that little bit off, there's like $5 down the drain. That kind of mentality. So you got to be conservative. So you guys get that, okay? That's more of a wax that I have. And it's I want to show you, Candy Pez. And the next thing I'm going to show you guys, okay, I'm going to show you my vape. It's my Yokan Special Series 2. But I've been using these for a few months. It's pretty fat. You can hold about 3 grams in the bowl itself of wax. You can't really use the harder wax. You could. It'll melt down. I don't know. I don't really like that because then it starts crumbling when you're trying to shove it in. It becomes a pain, and I don't want a fiasco. So I'd rather use a Nectar. You could put a piece of wax, small crumbles of wax, or what you do is you could take the Nectar, which I'll show you the Nectar, roll it in a little ball, put it in here. Now, this is my vape, okay? Same thing. Smoking the same stuff, but you have hot coils in here, and the coils heat up. The battery heats the coils, and then you just smoke it out of here. I let it heat up a couple seconds. There's a button, you hold it down. Same thing with this one here. A few quick clicks, you shut it off. A few quick clicks, you turn it on. Hold the button down longer, heats up the coils hotter, get a greater concentrate upon smoking. Some people prefer 1-2 hits. I read a lot of reviews on this Yokan, and people are like, at lunch break, they're like, I'll go to my vehicle, I'll take 1-2 hits, go back to work, that kind of thing, just to kind of level you out. And this is good for leveling out. You know, you're sitting there waiting for the bus, let's say, for 20 minutes, it's cold out, you may want to hit this. It's that kind of thing, just a kind of a chill thing. You're hanging out with friends, it fits in your pocket. If you put a few grams and you charge this fully, I mean, you could go out all day long, and this will probably last you a day. This will probably last you a couple days, 3-4 days, and that's what I like to do. Put 3 grams in there. It lasts me a few days. You know, on lunch break, I'll have a puff at work. Turn around, go at the park, play a little football. Maybe in between, take a break and hit this. That kind of thing. I'm driving, listening to music. Maybe take a puff. It's one of those. It's a more casual type of piece. And it's not like dabbing the Lookah. That's why they call it dabbing, though. You guys get it. You're dabbing the Lookah. This you're not dabbing. Even though this is a dab pen. Just so we get it clear. It's a dab pen. And what I used before was a dab Lookah. Make sense? These are cool because they come in all sorts of different patterns. I'm going to show you. This is supposed to be a red and a black one with red blood splatter on it. It's pretty cool. They have a lime green one and a gold one. They have all sorts, like 20-30 different kinds of patterns and limited editions. But I bought a new one to show you guys how it works. Okay, I just got this the other day. This came for me. And I was excited. Like a kid at a candy store. It's the first time opening. I haven't even looked at it yet. But I always get gold or some weird pattern. And I'm like, you know what? Silver's kind of nice looking on me, too. I'm a man of silver. I love silver jewelry. So I thought this would be fitting. They come in these little boxes underneath the box, because I ordered different vapes before from online of the Yokan is who makes them. But everything comes in the box that you need, okay? I'm going to show you guys this. Little bag on a keychain. Maybe you put a few extra coils in there, or I don't know. Too bad you can't fit the whole vape, and you could stick it on your belt. Nobody knows. You just see it hanging, think it's a little flashlight. Be security and shit. Security, and you're just all working by yourself guarding a storage lot. Who's gonna know? Just looks like a little flashlight. You just carry it on your belt, right? But that's what it is. It's like, doesn't this look like a little flashlight? Look at that, man. I could fool them. I could fool them. Did the police get against that wall? You're under arrest. Anyhow, we got this little bag. Pieces are falling everywhere. And it came, check this out, guys. It came with a coil and a baggie. There was one deal I ordered where it came with 5 of these. This is the coils. But I'm just going to dissect it and just show you how. And in the USB, which, like I say, if you have a little plug charger or even your laptop, you could charge these anywhere with the USB. I charge them in my vehicle and everything, man. I love these things because it's nice just to carry your vape instead of bud. But they unscrew, okay? This is the battery. This is where you'll be smoking your wax out of. Okay, this is cool, dude. Look at it. It's magnetic, man. Look. This is magnetic. I think the silver is a limited edition. But anyhow, it's magnetized. So this is actually a better system. And I think I'm going to enjoy this vape. I'm going to show you why. Watch. No threads. The problem is with this one here is threaded. And I'm going to show you guys what I mean by taking it apart. So you can see. It's not magnetized. So look how much. What happens is when the wax heats up, I'm going to show you guys. That's the only problem with them. The wax heats up in the chamber and it overflows over the top. So you got to scrape that off and put it back in. However, it's threaded. So this is a threaded end as well. And it gets all, you can see, it's all waxed up or nectared up, however, but there's threads on the inside of this. So you have to make sure it's airtight, or when you're taking a puff, you're not going to get nothing. It's going to escape out wherever the smoke can get out of. And what's in the smoke is the CBD and the medicinal benefit portion. And so you have to screw these on good. So I have to carry a pair of pliers because it gets gunked up and then it sticks. You can soak it in alcohol overnight and that'll fix the problem for maybe a couple weeks, and then it'll happen again and again and again. And so it just all goes back together. It's just a dab pen. The bowl on this is huge. Like I say, it's a limited edition. This has threads, and this unscrews. Okay? That's the coil. There's a couple coils in the bottom. This has 4 coils. 4. You can see 4. The one on the vape pen I just showed you has 2 or 3. This has 4. This is even a bigger bowl than the other Yokan I showed you. This could probably hold 3.5, 4 grams of nectar in there. Don't overfill it though, because it'll come out the top and over. That's why that's like that, because sometimes what happens is you put the nectar in the bowl, you smoke it, it heats it up, becomes a little oily. Well, this is an overflow on here, so it will spill out the top, especially if you don't stand your vape up. I'll put them, like if I go in the store and I leave my vape in my truck for a half hour, I want to sit it up. Otherwise, when I come back, some of the oil will escape out the hole, harden, and then you got to scrape it back into the bowl, and it just makes a mess. I mean, if you don't care, you want to overfill it. The joys of overfilling it is that the bowl will last you a few days. You won't be constantly loading it. So that's why I kind of like, sometimes I'll pack mine pretty good. And I may lose a little off the top, but I have to scrape back in. But here's the thing. If I'm in the middle of the mountains and I'm hiking and I'm camping and I'm off-roading at ghost towns and blah, 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 do you think I want to sit there and be in a mine or hiking on the side of a cliff having to load my wax and take all these apart? No, I don't. I want to be hiking free and have this in my pocket to smoke for 3-4 days without any hassle. So anyhow, I'm gonna load it. I'm gonna show you how you load it. The other thing about these pens, I have to put this down. You know what this is? It's a silicone chamber. Look how sweet that is. You know what that is? That's so you can put your wax or your nectar in here and store a few grams. So that way when you're hiking, you can load your bowl, which will last a few days, and you can keep a bowl or two in here to last you another 2 or 3 days. It's really efficient, okay? And I'll show you, this has 2 compartments. You can actually store 2 different kinds. So I think it's pretty cool, but it's just simple. It's just simple. It's just a little extra cylinder piece. And this does screw in, but no oil would ever get on the threads here. But they'll get on where you smoke this from because this has threads. And I'll show you, I unscrewed it earlier, but I'll show you. You guys can see it, right? See how it's turning? This all sticks because it's all threaded. And so this Yocan is a more expensive one, but it was a limited edition and I got it on sale. And it's better than this Yocan. And this Yocan is also a limited edition too. But it doesn't have as big of a bowl. It's not magnetized, so it's missing some features. It doesn't have, I'll show you real quick. I have a silicone chamber here too. And it's got wax in it. I store it, but you guys can look. You can't really see the silicone, but there's about 3 grams in this little piece here. And it just screws on the end. And this is for on the go. Because really, I mean, it's kind of hard to carry wax around unless you have one of these glass compartments with the lid. You always want to keep your wax or your nectar in the freezer. It won't hurt it to keep in the freezer, but you can keep it in wax paper or a glass compartment or a silicone chamber like this. That is airtight, so it's staying ooey and gooey, and then it's got silicone. You don't want the wax or the concentrate to end up becoming too dry. There's got to be some moisture. You're turning it into an oil when it heats up, kind of, whether it's at the tip of the Lookah or in this chamber itself. I'm going to show you guys how to load this. But this is a huge dabbing pen. Personally, myself, I don't like small dabbing pens, but I got friends who I like the little pens. Just stick them in my pocket on lunch break, just smoke, hit it real inconspicuous. But small pens don't hold as much, and the battery probably doesn't last as long, that kind of thing. I mean, this here, I was surprised as much as you guys were. I didn't know it was magnetized. I didn't know about the double chamber compartment. This vape here holds 4 coils. This dabbing pen holds only 2 to 3 coil chambers. And the chamber here has 4 coils. This chamber has 2. And so you can see, this one, if you look at size, the one to the right's a little bit bigger. So, this is badass because the one to the left cost me more than the one to the right. And the one to the right seems to be the better deal. But the thing about this is you have to buy backup coils. Because I'm using quartz coils and you can re-clean them, reuse them. In this vape to the left, I've used the same coils for 2 months now. And they have not burned out on me because people are like, they burn out. They've been covered in wax. I've been smoking them for weeks. They haven't burned out. So the quartz coils were good. Ceramic coils burn out real quick on the one to the left. So I will not get ceramic donuts or whatever. But the coils I'm using, the metal quartz coil, the quartz coils or whatever, they'll last forever, man. And so that's the difference. You have a couple coils here, but there's a size difference. The one to the right holds more. It's a much bigger dabbing pen. So it's going to hold more oil and all that jazz. But we're going to put this all back together. I'm going to show you guys how to load this. Okay. I keep it in wax paper, but I got sheets of wax. It's kind of you guys can kind of see it's a honey-like substance. You just peel it off. It's better when it's frozen, but it's been sitting out now for about 15 minutes while I've been talking to you guys. But you'll put it on your finger. You want to scrape it all. Like that. People are going to be like, what the hell is Lord Rick doing, playing a game of stink finger? I'm a dirty bastard, man. Alright? I'm the man with a lot of humor and jokes. If you're going to live the best of life and enjoy the finer things in life, you better enjoy my fine, dirty sense of humor. But anyhow, what we're gonna do is watch, okay? This is where we smoke from, so we'll put that down. Okay, you have what I just call it the lid, but it's just a backflow valve or a backflow cap, and it has 2 holes in it. But this all comes apart, okay? This all right here, this piece, look, also comes apart. All these come apart, and you can buy the little tiny pieces, but that just attaches to your battery or whatever. So you just screw this back on. This is the coil itself, see? And you can buy online on Amazon really cheap, like five of these for $20, and they'll last. I mean, you'll be good for probably the rest of the year, or if not longer. So it's kind of an investment you're making. But if you like to smoke, smoke oil and wax, this is the way to go. So I got it on my finger. It's melted. You want to get it all, and you want to. Let's see if you can see this. I got to get down because I'm kind of tall. Here, I'll go on this. I'm right-handed, so we'll go like this. Okay. So you can kind of see. I'll put it up close. Where the bowl is. Scrape it off like that. You gotta push it down. You gotta push it down where the coils are. If it's above the coils, when the coils heat, they don't get that hot. So when the coils heat, it will not burn the nectar or the wax. So you gotta push it down just a little, so it's on the coils. Okay. Make sure you get it all scraped. Go all the way around with your finger. Now the box will come with a little scooper or spoon. That's what I use. I don't use my fingers for this. But I'm making a video and I really got to show you guys. I'm not going to scoop it on a spoon. It takes a while to be all intricate. I'm just going to get it on my finger, but you don't want to waste any. You could taste it too if you want. We'll go ahead. I'm going to put some more in. This is a huge bowl, okay? I put in less than a gram. I'm going to put about 2.5 grams. So you want to get it all nice and scraped into the bowl. As the coils get heated up, this will all melt down into it. You can kind of see now how I have it. So we just fill up that little chamber like that. There are some threads, like for the cap, there's threads because you got to have it. But anyhow, you see the chamber is fairly full, right? You got about 2.5 grams. And there's a little cap. What we're going to do is we're going to reattach this to the battery. See, it's all starting to come together. And then we're going to put on the overflow valve or overflow cap. So now I'm going to put the overflow cap back on. It's just a few twists. Put it all back together, and then you just simply hit the button and smoke. I am not going to smoke out of this until I give it a good charging. You want to charge it a few hours your first time. Don't use this without charging it. But it's very basic. You hold down the button 2-3 seconds like the other dabbing pen I showed you. And you smoke. It's that simple. But I put about 2.5 grams of oil, pushed it down onto the coils, so when it heats up, you just instantly get that cloud. This is when they say blowing clouds, it doesn't mean you're smoking meth and all that. Blowing clouds means a dabbing pen, using a dabbing pen, because when you smoke out of a dabbing pen, you're literally blowing clouds. I'm going to show you guys what I mean, okay? I took apart this. You guys can see out of the overflow cap how all that seeped out. Well, I found, see, they gave me a nice spoon. If you guys look right here. And so it's a scraper, or a little tiny spoon, and you use it to scrape all, you don't need to see me on film for this, but to scrape off all the little resin and wax, which, by the way, just comes right out of the top of the cap, and you don't want to miss any. That's the whole thing. You want to scrape it all off, and you don't see how it's threaded right there, right here. That's what gets all resined up. You know what I like about the other vape or dabbing pen, there's no threads, it's just magnetic. And so it's easy, it's much easier to clean your vape that way, I think. I mean, you can get whatever mechanism, whatever vape pen, or you can get a Lookah or whatever you want, whatever you prefer. Some people like vape pens, some people like Lookahs, some people like to smoke joints, just pre-rolled joints or blunts. It's really up to you. But I've tried to scrape some of it off, because what we're going to do, I'll show you. I don't want to keep the video dragging on for hours. I'll unscrew the cap. You guys can see. I'll do it this way. There's already oil in here. But the cap, what happens is you get oil that overflows, or resin or nectar or whatever, and you just scrape it off like I just did into here. I probably filled a little bit too much the other day, and that's why this happened. But it could have happened if I sat the pen down wrong and it got jostled. That kind of stuff happens. If you put it in your pocket, the same thing's going to happen. It may not leak into your pants, but it's going to be messy like this, and you're going to have to scrape it. And it's not a big deal, because you're not going to have to, you don't need to scrape it all the time. I only do this once a week. But I just loaded a little bit too much, I think, the other day, because I'm like, I need to smoke all day, and smaller amounts may be good. This is the smaller bowl. You have this, and you have this. And what I normally will do, as you see, the cap, this is the overflow, the cap or whatever. I got to get that out of there as well. So what I'll do, you guys wanted a full tutorial. I'm giving you a full tutorial. We're going to scrape the wax out of here too. Look at that. I'm going to teach you something else. See how there's a hole? I got to hold this right. Okay. Right here. There's little holes. Okay. Now they gave me right here, it's double pointed, like you have a scooper on one end and a pointy end, but I have another one that's straight, one end doesn't have anything, and they made it that way so that way if your cap gets all like resin or nectared up or with oil, because it is an overflow and you have a hole here, you have a hole on each end. You got to make sure you clear these holes, but you can just take the pointy end and you can kind of just poke the holes. And then what we'll do is I'll take it, look at that, and I'll put it all back inside, see? It won't overflow because most of the oil got burned up, but you don't want to waste anything. And so you want to take your scooper and you want to make sure you scoop all the oil out, because it's not going to overflow anymore. It's already done and overflowed. But it's all gunked up. It's a little bit messy, like I say, but and you may waste a little. But see, I don't mind wasting a little, because I'll tell you why. I buy sheets of wax from my buddy. And waste a little, I waste a little. But when I buy it at the dispensary, it comes in the little glass compartments. You never have to take it out of there. It always stays in there so it doesn't get messy. With the Lookah, of course. With this, you're putting it on in the dabbing pen. The dabbing pen I just showed you is much more efficient. So what we'll do is I'll push it all down You don't ever want the holes to be plugged on the cap either, because then if the cap is plugged, it'll seep out where the threads are on here. And so I'm just putting it all back together. And then you take, it's a little gunked up, like I say. I would do it much more intricate, but this film's not meant to be 2 hours long. My buddy asked for a film on some things in regards to vaping, Lookah, dabbing, and all that. So I'm showing you guys how it works. Okay? It's ready to go. Sometimes when you take the battery off, separate the battery from this, you got to hit this 5 times to get it back on. So we'll see. But it should be ready to go. I'm letting it heat up. See, I already got some clouds. That, my friends, was a 420 storm. You know what we're going to name this storm? We're going to name it Lord Rick. We're going to have 420 storms, and we're going to name them like we do hurricanes, after famous potheads. So that was the 420 Lord Rick storm. First one of the century. Not really. I've been blowing clouds for a while, and I enjoy it. This is the smaller vape. Like I said, you can see the size comparison between the two. I mean, one's a little bit bigger, but the difference is the one to the left holds more oil than the one to the right. Because the one to the left has a bigger chamber, I'm probably not going to put as much in there because that's, you know, putting 5 grams in might be a little excessive. I don't need that many grams, but a couple grams is fine. So therefore, the one to the left will probably overflow like the one to the right. The right has a smaller chamber, and so a smaller chamber tends to, you know, sometimes it comes out the top. So you might want to be frugal when you first load this. Don't fill it too much. I filled it a lot the other day because not only did I scrape it, I took my frozen, see this, what's in the bag here, when I take it out of the freezer, you roll it into it's like Play-Doh. It's real soft, and you roll it into a ball and you stick it in. Well, sometimes the ball becomes a little bigger because you're like, let me get a little more, and you break a little more off, and it becomes snowball sized when you only want to put a little bit of a dab in here. So, but we have this one here, and I'll take off the cap and show you one last time before I end the video. I'll show you one last time real quick. Look, separate it. So we take the top off, twist the lid off, right? You can see fresh nectar in there ready to be smoked once I charge this for a couple hours. So go with the Yocan brand, Y-O-C-A-N. Hundreds of stores sell them, so you'll want to sift through stores and find the best price. I got a sweet deal. I think I paid $25 for this silver Yocan. You can't really go wrong. It holds like 5 grams of wax, plus it has a huge double chamber for spare wax or spare nectar. But the candy pads that I showed you guys, this is more of a crumble wax type of substance, and it's just concentrate. That's all. And it's done scientifically, and it's pretty amazing if you learn how to do it. I personally don't get into making edibles and oils that way. Some people like to make the oils a crumble and all that. This here I bought, well, this here comes from a buddy of mine, but these were at the dispensary up north, made at dispensaries or for dispensaries. Most of the dispensaries have the glass containers, and in here it's resin. You can call it whatever you want. Wax, resin, crumble. That's what it is. It's harder, so you use a Lookah because it heats up really good. I wouldn't put this in the vape. What I would put in the vape is my wax, and that's all it is. And when this is frozen, it'll peel off. You can peel it off. I don't want to mess it up. I got to put it back in the freezer. When I freeze this back up, even just a few minutes in the freezer, it'll be like almost hard. Not hard, but it'll break off in little tiny pieces, little squares, and you break off a little square, you roll it into a ball, and you stick it in the vape. What you can also do, I think I'll show you guys something else real quick. I'm going to use my scooper to be safe. I've done a lot of radio shows in the past where I smoked bud on radio the entire time. But what I have not done is giving you an educational video in regards to different ways of smoking pot and giving you some tools and education about cannabis in general. Because I hate using the word pot, or, I mean, I joke around a lot, but honestly, to me, I see pot as food and medicine, so I would rather refer to it as cannabis or marijuana, but I'm extremely 420 friendly, and and when I'm with my friends smoking pot on a recreational level, it's pot, you know. And in regards to trying to be scientific and educational about it, it's cannabis, straight up. So here's what we're gonna do, okay? We're going to scrape. I put some wax on the edge where I ripped the paper. But it's just wax, man. It's very soft right now. But you can see I can scrape a lot of it off and get a whole spoonful. You can see this is all you need, a little spoonful, okay? We're going to get creative here. This was a batch I recently smoked. And I've been, on Thanksgiving, I took this out. Sorry, I'll stand back. On Thanksgiving, I took this out as a treat. Really loved it. It was so good. I don't know what flavor it was or strain, but it's really tasty. It's a very clean concentrate. It's not harmful to the lungs. It's not gonna kill you. I used to take a lot of opiates, and other people on opiates that get addicted to them or whatever. I mean, you're bargaining on your life and your liver. You're bargaining on living a lot longer. So I highly recommend, if you want to go any which way, go this way. Because it's healthy, it's clean. I mean, if you want to stay home and get high off your ass, people are like, I need fentanyl and morphine and all these things. Well, I can guarantee you, if you were to smoke one of these in one sitting, you'd probably be toast for about 24 hours and have missing time. Maybe a couple days, just saying. So it's not unhealthy to stay home, smoke all you want, get the munchies. What harm is that going to do? If you're with your friends, like I say, you only need maybe a hit or two, and you're good. You're good. That's the joy of smoking concentrates, is you're not sitting there smoking 10 blunts or 10 bowls. You just hit your dab once or twice, and you just come back to the party with your friends. Hey, what's up, man? You know, life's good. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be lazy and want to sit on your... I'm not a lazy smoker. I don't want to sit on my couch. I hike and everything. I believe in the cannabis 420 high times type of life. You know, like the magazine high times, people are backpacking, smoking blunts, because that's the type of lifestyle I live. It's a very healthy lifestyle. And medically it helps me to smoke rather than walk around all day popping pills. It just makes no sense. So I'm going to come up close again, because like I said, the film's not about me. It's about showing you guys how this is done. I'm going to scrape this right here. See how it's on the end? Look at that. We'll never waste it, because whatever you have access, if you have access wax per se, it's good because you can use the Lookah and just smoke it up so nothing goes to waste. I'm going to put this down and I'm going to show you guys. Okay? I'm almost getting to the end of the video. I wanted to give you guys the grand tour. You guys deserve the grand tour. I just love these vapes and these little Lookahs. You know, you guys ever hear of the hookah? Well, this is the Lookah. And you're going to Lookah over here when you smoke over there. You know what I mean? Alright, so I'm going to face it. I'm going to hold down the button for about 2-3 seconds. Heat it up. Get it burning. Getting it really hot. I'm going to put it right up here. So I just showed you a little bit of, I just showed you guys, I smoked some of that Nectar. People call it Nectar, wax, whatever you want to call it, but took it off the wax paper, scooped it off. You put it on here, you put the Lookah up to it. That's one way to do it. Depends how you get your wax. Or you can always go with, the dispensary has these. I have so many different kinds right now, probably like 12 different types of flavors, and they're all different. Some of it's Nectar, very soft, some of it's resin or oily, some of it's like Play-Doh, some of it's a crumble. This is more of a waxy crumble. It's a couple cubes in here. And so obviously they probably, after the wax cooled, they probably cut the sheets and they put a couple grams in here, and then you could take the Lookah, you guys could take the Lookah to it, or you could load it in a vape pen. Either way, there's different types of substances in the cannabis lifestyle. It ranges all the way from oil all the way up to wax, resin. You know, back in the day we'd scrape our pipes and we'd get a resin ball going. I still smoke my resin balls. Love those things. While I'm here, I'm gonna burn one real quick with you guys, but same thing, metal pipe. What's in here? Green leaf, bud. You know, the stuff in the baggie, bud. A little bit of everything, because I like to be stocked. And it ranges from buds to resin to ground up bud, to edibles, to shatter, crumble, wax, and I have different types of bud as well. And this is hydroponic bud, but the other bag I showed you just now was growing out in the mountains of Oregon. Outside, it's outdoor bud, growing basically in the mountains. It's great for my pipe. A lot of times at the dispensary, or from a dispensary or whatever, you get shake. It's called shake. It's really not shake. But when they trim the buds, pieces of bud come off, and it comes off smaller. It's still bud, but it comes off very small. And then the THC flakes, CBD, all that falls too. And sometimes a little bit of leaf gets in there or whatever, but it's just, that's the way to smoke it. No stems, ever. It's pure bud, no stems. And so I used to buy at Silver State Dispensary 1-2 ounces of shake of all different kinds. Sour diesel, OG Kush was one of my favorites, Girl Scout cookies. So I mean, I loved it, but I stopped doing that because now I can get pure bud. I get huge buds from my friend, and sometimes I get lucky and it's most of it's shake, and I'm okay with that because you can take a little bowl like this, scoop your shake, and smoke. This will help with pain, anxiety, PTSD, chronic pain, depression, a lot of different things it'll help with. And so I will definitely like to hit my bowl. If I'm going to the supermarket, I have anxiety, whatever, I might take a couple hits off this and I can go in the store and function a little bit. Because I have a serious agoraphobia, so I get like terrified to go to those type of places, you know. It's hard to deal with that kind of condition too. It's hard. That it kind of limits my life. And that's why I spend my life in paranormal work and outdoors and in ghost towns, because it keeps me grounded, as opposed to going to the mall or something to that effect. A lot of people, it means chaos, drama a lot of times. And I don't like that kind of noise around me. You know what I'm saying? But most people are probably too afraid to admit that. And that's okay. But I'd rather be out in nature surrounded by animals than in a supermarket with 1,000 people standing in the aisles talking about life, or arguing over what can of owls they're going to buy or something to that effect, you know. But I have nothing but pure green in here, bud. Smoked a little to keep it from falling out. I just simmered the top off. Very simple. This is how I smoke most of my bud 90% of the time, really. But I've been hitting my vapes more because I'm not weeding this out, but I'm trying to split 50-50. Smoking my vape my Lookah, and the other 50% smoke in my pipe. It depends on if I'm on the go or where I'm at. This is great for hiking in nature. Keep a bowl in your pocket. Hit it now and then. It'll help with pain. It'll help with other health problems as well. So I mean, like if you don't feel like eating, because a lot of times I won't eat or drink outdoors, I'll smoke a bowl and it'll help me because I get dehydrated and then I need rescuing and all that because I get cramps throughout my body. It's terrible because I'm climbing and climbing. I've had a lot of bad accidents outdoors, so if I smoke, and that's the one thing I knew on my last trip when I got injured and I got cramps throughout my body and I fell off that ledge and all that, it's because I hardly had anything to drink. But I hardly smoked any bud. When I smoke bud and I hike, I'm more efficient. It allows me to stop and say, whoa, I got the munchies, I'm hungry, let me take a drink. If it saves your life, why not, right? So it's good to always do, this is the old-fashioned way of smoking bud. I mean, if you don't like the Lookah or you don't like the Yokan vape, then go with the old-fashioned way. Nobody's going to judge you for how you like your bud. Everybody has different taste. I like the finer things in life, so I'll smoke my bud, I'll eat my bud. I don't care if it's in oil form, wax or shatter or crumble form, or down in just as putting a piece of bud in my pipe and smoking it out of a pipe. As you can see, I still can blow pretty good clouds. And I didn't even cough. You are going to cough on the vape, or you're going to cough when you use the Lookah. I did a little bit, but I cut it out because it's not because it's embarrassing. It's natural to cough. But do you want to see me cough for 20 minutes? No, I'm just kidding, guys. I maybe cough once or twice. I don't cough with my pipe. But if I sit here and I try to use the Lookah or whatever, I definitely will cough. Coughing is harmless, but it is concentrate and it's rich, so you're going to feel it throughout your system and cough. It's not a bad thing, trust me. The more you cough, the more stoned you're going to get. So I always say, well, I coughed a lot. Well, and every time I get cough like that, I'm stoned out of my mind. So when I don't cough, this might help me on a mild level throughout the day. But if I get a good cough, it's party time, dude. What strip club we going to? How fast we going to drive in the desert? That kind of thing. Where are we going to hike to? Oh, that peak? Oh, it doesn't matter if we can't get to that peak. Let's just climb. You know what I'm saying? Good times, baby. Good times. But I'm going to heat it up. Like I said, it's natural. Has a very distinct smell, but a really good flavor. How's that for a cloud? So you guys get the picture. That's for you, James Roa. You asked for a film, so I'm giving you an all-out film, not just some cheesy 30-minute segment of some old fool smoking. But still, I'm a winning fool now, aren't I? Because as a coach, the Paranormal Ghost Society Phantoms won first place in October. We are champions. And I'm going to say it again, coaching is a huge part of any team. Teams don't win first place if they don't have good coaching and staff, in order, in organization. You have to have those things to win a championship. We earned it as a team. And so I know what it feels like to be a champion, and this was, for winning the championship, this was kind of a treat for myself. I said to myself, we win the championship, I am getting one of these bad boys. These are kind of pricey. They're not super expensive, but you're going to spend anywhere from $30 to $50 to buy a Lookah. It depends what store you go to. And I'm not saying it's a lot of money, but some people have bills and they can't. I know I have bills and you can't always afford those finer things in life. But if you can, I highly recommend you get one of these Lookahs, man. Because it's all about, it doesn't matter what it looks like, really. Because you can get a simple seahorse. You don't need to get it gold plated or whatever. Like I say, sometimes it's just kind of cool. Like, look at me, I'm smoking the gold, you know? But anyhow, guys, I just want to say thanks for watching my film. This is Lord Rick. You guys know me, founder of the Paranormal Ghost Society and Angel of the Night Radio. I'm off. In the meantime, check out my site, www.paranormalghostsociety.org. I'm also known as AngelOfThyNight, THYNIGHT. So you can locate me on Facebook or Instagram or whatever you choose. So everybody, I'm going to give you a little bit of a close-up view of this, okay? See, I packed it with some nectar or wax in the chamber. Holds a few grams. You don't want to put too much because it could clog it. But when it heats up anyways and softens up, it's usually not a problem, but you can kind of see. And here's the lid. This whole thing comes apart. I take it apart to clean it, but what we're going to do, okay, and put the lid on. Nice thing about it, this is magnetic, so watch. Just like that, okay? And what we're going to do is, I got to push the button down 3 to 5, I think it's 5 times real fast, and then it'll light, you'll see it light up. There it goes, see it's blinking. And then I'll hold it down, let it cook or heat up. And there you go. Now this here is candy cane, okay? See a little can, it's called Candy Jack. It's got a candy cane or minty type of flavor. And it comes in cubes like this. You can see. And simple with the Lookah, okay? So you see how it's blue? Let's see if I can see how there's a blue light. That's low. You'll hit it twice. Now you get purple light. See, it's purple. That's medium heat. And then you can go on high if you really want to heat. If it's hard nectar or hard wax, you may want to put it on high to heat it up. High, 2 more hits. It's white now. So what I'll do is I'll take this. And that's it. That's why they call it dabbing, because you're taking, you're dabbing it in here like this, and as it heats up, you have a little chamber up here. It'll take up a little bit of oil inside the chamber, and that's what you're smoking. Some people like to vape. Some people like dab pens, to vape out of dab pens, because it's already, I mean, there's not, you can carry it around, walk around the zoo, whatever you decide, go on a work picnic, and you know, you're out there all day long, rather not drink, you may want to bring this, because a Lookah is obviously a little more bulky and involves this, and when people look at this, they think, oh, what kind of drugs is he doing? But it's not. That's the whole thing. This is pure concentrated marijuana, and it comes out looking like this once they extract it. And you just, like I say, well, I'll do it one more time. Here, we got a little piece right here. I'll heat that up and I'll smoke that right there. You see that little piece? It's starting to smoke. It's getting super hot. You see this smoke? And there you go. And I mean, you can smoke marijuana, you can eat it, you can put it on your body as a lotion or however you want to do it. I mean, it's your choice. You have a lot of options. I started getting more into this as of the past year because I found it to be efficient. When I was playing basketball, I could just pull out my pen, take a puff, go back to playing with the guys on the court outside. It's 100 degrees, we're working our asses off. This is about all we have besides our drinks. And so a lot of the guys like to hit the dab pens. Just a little more efficient. I'm not talking about getting stoned. I mean, this will really get you stoned. I'm just talking about mildly having a couple smokes here and there to control your anxiety, your nervousness, your tension, your pain. If you use this in a medical way, it is very beneficial. You will cut down on opiates and narcotics. I guarantee. It's expensive unless you got somebody who can give you half off, or you can make it yourself. But if you know how, it's really efficient. If you know how to dab and you buy the tools and you actually have some nectar and wax. I like to smoke out of a pipe. You guys see my metal pipe. This thing, I've had this thing for 10 years. I carry it to all my ghost towns. Just a little pipe. And you know, we'll pack it with some marijuana. I have, you can see both vape pens. The paint tends to fade on these things, but I have both. So the only difference is the size. One holds more wax than the other. This would be great if you're hiking all day long and you just pack a bowl. This will last you all day, maybe a few days. Depends how much you hit it. I don't hit it all the time. I'm not looking to get ripped or fucked up. It's just I take my marijuana in moderation so I can control my pain, my anxiety, and all those other things, all these other medical issues I have. And I found out that this probably works better than anything, these dab pens. But since I bought the Lookah, I'm finding out that the Lookah is great for relaxing at home. A couple hits of this and you know, you'll hit the sack and sleep well. I'm an insomniac because I have terrible back pain, knee pain, joint pain, fibromyalgia, the list goes on. And I gotta have something at night. It's better than taking drugs. It's better than taking sleeping pills. You just take a couple tokes of this, and depending on what strain you use, you're either gonna perk up or it'll help you go to sleep. If you take a melatonin plus a little bit of this, you'll sleep like a baby. Trust me. And you should take my advice, because I've been toking marijuana for approximately 27 years, so I'm very new to I'm a veteran to the lifestyle, and I'm always learning about it a little bit more and more. And the more I learn, the more beneficial I find marijuana to be. And there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. And the right way, I think, to do it is you have your bowl for daytime smoking. This would be more for nighttime or when you first wake up to start your day, get going. These dab pens throughout the day if you're on the go. You know, got a lunch break at work, whatever. I'm self-employed, so when I go out there and I do my work, I take breaks and smoke. And I'm not going to regret it, because it'd be the same thing as someone taking a tramadol or a hydrocodone for their back or their pain. And instead, I'm just controlling it with a couple tokes, and it doesn't slow me down. It doesn't have any bearings on me other than it's going to help me medicinally, if that makes sense. And so you got to use what the earth gave you. Use the marijuana, but these newer tools to smoke marijuana and the nectar, that is just phenomenal. And it's something people should try to get into. I think so. And so if you're new to this, I hope that I have taught you guys a little something so you can learn. See, so marijuana can help benefit you like as it's benefiting me at the moment. And so this is a little close-up brought to you by Lord Rick of Angel of the Night Radio and founder of the Paranormal Ghost Society and blah, 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 blah. But you guys get the picture. One last thing. I have ground up bud. And I'll show you guys. I'll put it in the pipe. Now you're not seeing me because this is just a little close-up. But see how nice that feels? Just a little bit. You just you scoop it, and I got a bowl. And 2-3 tokes of this, I'm good. Because I'm not a little kid. I'm not looking to get drunk or high or any of that shit. But I do want to make sure that I take my marijuana in moderation. So during the day, a couple tokes of this, you'll barely feel it. Most of it burns up. That's why I hate this. This is pure. This, you lose some of the medicinal benefits as soon as the flame hits it. But you blow just as big of a cloud, now don't you? So all these, I mean, that's when people say I'm blowing clouds, they usually mean dabbing. Dab pens, Lookah, however they choose to smoke their nectar and wax and resin. I smoke a lot of blunts, and you can take blunt papers, roll the fine marijuana in it, and you can smoke it that way if you prefer. I prefer this little bowl because I can get 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe even 10 hits off this. So it'll last me hours. It's just something you want to think about. Whatever works for you, use both. I try to mix all three throughout the day, but at certain times. That way I can function at work, function playing basketball and coaching, function taking care of my house, my pets, and my friends and my family, if that makes sense. But anyhow, let me get back on film, and let me get back on camera, where I'm by the Christmas tree. And so stay tuned, I'll be right back, guys. You guys got me so high right now, I'm smoking fucking, on every setting I'm hitting the Lookah, and then I bounce back to the high and medium settings. So now I've taken like 8 puffs of the Lookah, and I've hit my vape 4 or 5 times. I mean, what are you guys trying to fuck me up or something? Anyhow, give us a like and subscribe on our channel. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. Give us a like, comment, tell us how you like to smoke your reefer. Trust me, there's no reefer madness going on here. I think I hosted a pretty good 420 radio. We'll say it's a 420 radio show because I've been talking for about an hour and a half to you guys, and now I'm getting the goddamn munchies, so I gotta go. And I'm gonna tell you right now. Hold on, let me jump on over. I just want to finish with something. If you're going to smoke, I'll take off this hat too. You know what's strange? It's almost Christmas, and I should be wearing this. I'm always in Christmas attire for the month of December. And now here it is like December 2nd? December 2nd? Here it is, December 2nd, 2021. And I haven't even put a Santa beard on yet. That's like sacrilege, man. Tonight I'm going to put a Santa beard on. In the middle of the night I'm going to go in the room and just put it on. Time to bring out the bad Santa, right? But that doesn't mean I can't wear a Santa hat, and I don't even mind wearing these things. It's like being in Russia, Mother Russia. It keeps my ears warm. You know how they wear the bushka and all that shit. But I feel like I'm in Mother Russia. It's fucking cold out, but we have no fucking snow here. But it's freezing out. My ass froze this morning throwing out trash. I was like a hobfucking goblin, or fucking like my precious, you know, from fucking Lord of the Rings, man. I was all like tiptoeing and trying to throw out the trash. People probably thought, what the fuck, is there a goblin hopping around? I'm all wearing black, so if you only see the backside of me and I'm all fucking acting creepy. It's cold. It gets cold in Nevada. Speaking of cold, I hope you guys will follow us. We're going to be going to Eureka, Nevada in the near future. Great ghost town. There's a lot of mines, mining camps, ghost towns surrounding Eureka. Less known places that I like to offer. Obviously, you guys know I'm a serious off-roader. Oh, what am I doing? I'm throwing my pie. Yeah, I'm stoned. We don't throw pies. Not even in people's faces. Those are pies I could eat. But anyhow, being stoned, nothing is better stoned than going to McDonald's and getting one of these bad boys, these apple pies. And so this is from this morning. I had 2 pies for breakfast, and I said I'll save one for the afternoon because I like them for lunch too, especially if I'm like dabbing on the go, you know. And like I keep looking at this pie while filming with you guys, and I'm like, pie or filming? Well, I can have both. But anyhow, bad Santa, bad Santa. I gotta wear this. Isn't this cool? This is like a gothic Santa hat, man, and it goes with my tree. And I know I'm up in your guys' faces because I got a different camera, so it's hard to watch the video. So I'm like, well, I'll turn on the Christmas tree because this year's theme is red and white. Most of the ornaments are red and white. We have red and white garland and this candy cane fabric. And then our vintage ornaments all mixed on in. And the fiber optic, that's a vintage fiber optic angel, if you guys see it on film. I've hit the camera so many times. Let's see, can you see the angel? Oh yeah. You guys see it changing colors. I'm probably staying in the way, but my house looks like the damn North Pole, outside and inside. And that's okay, I like this time of year. Because I can sit back with my Lookah, lights off, just have the tree at night, just have the tree going at night, lights up my whole den and kitchen area beautifully. And it's comfortable. Have a fire going in the fireplace, stockings hung. I like the theme. I mean, you know, people that live in the country or have families will have themes. You'll have your Thanksgiving theme, the birthday theme, every holiday. 4th of July, you might even have a theme. It depends how patriotic you are. My theme might be dark. I might hang dark streamers, but I've still got some kind of theme going, right? But Christmas, I go all out, very traditional. Halloween, same thing. My whole house looks like a haunted house. But, you know, if you're going to smoke your Lookah, why not smoke it in a themed home? Have a fire going, you know, Santa Claus right to the corner. That's a creepy Santa Claus, like old as fuck. Like one of the first animatronic, I can't even pronounce the word, I'm so stoned. But you get it. It's like, it's a Santa Claus that's supposed to dance. I haven't really messed with it much because I don't really need it to start talking and dancing in the middle of the night. But some of my ornaments come from deceased people on this tree, vintage ornaments. They're all over. We have like 300 ornaments on this tree, but about 100 of them are probably vintage. So Christmas is a really special time, and it has been for my family, my children, even enjoying the 420 lifestyle. And as I was saying, is we're going to go out to Eureka, see how I jump, because I don't want to forget. But anyhow, follow us, because you guys know I do a lot of paranormal investigating throughout the Wild West, especially ghost towns. And I got some paranormal investigations in some haunted sites coming up around Eureka. That's Shoshone country. The Indians have been there for 3,000-4,000 years. There's ancient caves, petroglyphs, all that out there. It's just an amazing place. And it's an area we work with time and time again. We've done tons of ghost towns, but we have not done too many around Eureka. And Eureka's a cool place to visit. It's a semi-ghost town. And you can go there, and they have a wonderful Philly cheesesteak, I heard, and pizza, and some family-run business, or family business-run restaurants. Some places established, been around for decades, years. I mean, this was a town that came to be over 150 years ago, and the town's still well alive today. It's still a much larger town than most here in Nevada. But there's a historic cemetery, a lot of historic buildings from the 1900, early 1900s era, and a lot of businesses that are still businesses today that were 100 years ago. And so I look forward to touring. It's kind of like Virginia City. And they do have a paranormal convention there, so I am going to Eureka, Nevada. And if you can ride off the backs of me, I can ride off the backs of you. So I cannot wait. I cannot wait to go to Eureka, Nevada. I'm going to go out to the saloon, and I'm going to drink as much beer as I want. I'm going to smoke my fucking Lookah, my gold-plated Lookah. Fuck everybody, bitches. And I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to off-road. I'm going to explore and do what I do best. And I'm not doing it for anybody else other than what my eyes can see. I'm sharing it because I'm a nice guy like that. And I want people to understand that, because a lot of people in my community think that because they do this, they want to get rich and famous. I don't do it for that. My friends and family like to see the places I go. I have family on my Facebook. I have friends. I have members of my paranormal group. And so you guys obviously want to see videos and pictures of these locations, and I give you little by little. Eventually it makes it all on our website. But on Facebook you will get pictures from my visit to going out to Eureka and all the little surrounding mountains and mines and places that I'm going to explore. And I have no issue with it. I love winter exploring. And every Christmas, every holiday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, I try to at least do a road trip or do a ghost town or a good hike. Something that you guys can remember that stands out among all the other investigations and expeditions I do. And so Eureka is a big semi-ghost town with a lot of little ghost towns and mining camps around it. So this is one big project I'm working. I'm really happy about it. But I got good tires on the truck, supplies, I'll load blankets, firewood, food, water, the dogs, all that. It's quite the project because I have to be prepared. I can't go out in the middle of the high desert or some canyon or 10, 12,000 feet or some mountain that's covered in snow. I have to be ready for anything. I had to ride a couple weeks ago, take my truck through this road. It was so narrow the branches were touching the side of my truck. Up and down like this. You know why it was up and down? I bet you don't. Well, there was a creek, and it just snowed recently, so all that water was rushing down the mountain, and a creek that normally trickles was now a full-on rapids almost. And that could pick up your truck and slide you off a cliff or off the road. I'm driving up this canyon, up and down, like straight down almost and back up. And oh man, you come down a hill right through trees touching the side of the truck. You come down, and all of a sudden there's like a raging rapids, and you got to drive over that. So, you know, I love my Suburban, my sport Suburban. It's just very long, and I mean, this guy had to pass one another, and I was up on the edge of the cliff, and he was on his side, his pickup, and we were almost touching sides. It was a one-lane road up to this ghost town with a mansion and a mill next to it. It was just an amazing place. Ophir or Ophir? Ophir or Ophir Canyon, people, in Nevada, this is a ghost town. It's very woodsy. It's a high desert woods. All sorts of foliage and brush, and you can see down near the creek at times, foundations made of stone. It's a really cool ghost town. If you get to the top of the ghost town and you can make the road a couple miles in, you get to see this historic mansion, three-story ruins of a mansion. It looks like a chapel or a monastery. It does something you see out of the movies. It's just ruins, but it's 3 stories tall. Next to it was his mill or whatever business he was running in that canyon. I mean, it was probably also used as a mining house, but I mean, you could just see the different ruins and tiers. Story 1, story 2, now you're down into the hillside in the basement, and then below that, near the creek, is ruins, what looked like, well, they were mill ruins to me. So he ran some kind of gold or silver mill in that canyon. But we went to Ophir Canyon, went to the ghost town, and there's ruins and miner cabins. It's a pretty cool place. But that's the bonus, is seeing the mansion. And when you see something like that, you definitely want to dab. You definitely want that experience. So I definitely want to dab with the Lookah when I see ghost towns like that. And I hiked back up by the stone ruins and everything, man. It was a really cool trip. But the road was really rugged, and I was wishing I had one of these damn apple pies. Sometimes, you know, you have the Lookah, and you don't have the apple pies. I might have other types of pies. Stick my fingers in some pies. Anyhow, you get the point. I got the damn munchies. I couldn't stand any longer. I'm eating the apple pie. And now I'm thinking, man, I need something to drink. So, before I choke. I won't choke. I hope I don't choke. See, I'm still alive. Frappuccino. So I'm good. I lost the lid to my vape. It fell somewhere here. So I'm going to have to try to seek that out. Being that my eyesight's going, I'm going to have my eye to the floor like Brian the dog from Family Guy, looking straight at the floor with the flashlight. And it's like, man, where's my son when you need it? When I used to lose stuff on the carpet, I could lose something that's like molecule size. And my kid would run over and say, here it is, Dad. And I'm like, I'm not seeing it. That's how you know if you're going blind when you get older. If you can't see it, but your son can see it, you need glasses. If you're already wearing glasses and you still can't fucking see it, you're fucked. And so halfway through my basketball season, I was losing eyesight of my right eye. I'm like, I'm fucked. Because I couldn't see out of my right eye. It was like a cloud, like cataracts. It was creepy. It was like I was driving that way to basketball, driving the guys to the game, one-eyed Willie, man. Seeing out of one eye. And I was playing basketball and still making passes, still getting assists, still making three-pointers. Because I learned how to deal with it. And now it's getting better. I'm learning how to work past it. Even basketball-wise. 5-6 threes in a row with it. I think I had 9 three-pointers in a row. And this was at a much worse time. And I had these black lines, floaters or whatever. Proteins from my eyeball collapsing or whatever. But at least I'm not having a retinal tear. And it is true. If you let it go with time, it does get better. It's not fully, it's not going to be 100%, but at least I am seeing a little bit better. Thank God for that. And it could be because I just, smoking a little less resin, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it could be the cure. It could be the cure. You just never know. They say this is good for your eyes, like carrots. So if I continue to smoke this, maybe I'll continue to see things a lot more clearer. Thanks for sitting and standing with me and smoking one. I hope you guys are smoking your Lookahs, your joints, your bowls, your blunts, your wax, your crumble, your vapes, your dabs. However you want to smoke this shit. I don't care if you smoke this shit out of a Pepsi Cola can. I really don't. Because I've smoked it that way too. You don't have anything to smoke it out of, you make shit out of tinfoil. You become a scientist all of a sudden. Like you could patent that shit, you know what I'm saying? I one time took some PCP, some plastic piping. We made with a funnel, and we made this huge ass pipe. It was something like the Aborigines would smoke, like you see in the Australian pictures where they have these pipes that like touch the ground. That's what it was like. Only we rigged that shit with duct tape and everything. I mean, we made this homemade bowl, and we put a little butt on there and lit it up. Oh my God, I got so fucked up. I was like throwing darts through the wall and shit like that. It was just one of those times, man. Just hanging with the boys, and you're just like smoking the peace pipe, and all of a sudden you're just like throwing darts at each other, you know, hot ducking in the man cave behind the furniture and shit. I think I've told you enough stories for now. If I tell you any more, it's going to get me in big trouble. Not so much with Tammy or anybody listening, but there's always somebody on Facebook who wants to use my shit against me. I can imagine how many trolls and haters will comment on this. But for you 420 friendly people who are just like me, love the wilderness, love going to get good eats, friends, adventure, having a good time without the drama, you guys are going to appreciate this video. You're going to appreciate the humor. You probably learned a few things today. If you didn't, you didn't. But you got to chill with me and smoke your Lookah if you guys got one. Some of you guys already have one. You've shown me pictures of yours. I'm like, wow, they got them in all sorts of colors, green, purple and black. However you want it designed, you can find different vape shops sell different types. But the Yocan, like the Seahorse, the Yocan Dab Pen, awesome quality. I'll continue to smoke wax for the rest of my life. I love it in this form. I can use my green, I can ground it up, put it in brownies or my food and make a butter for English muffins. Or I can turn around and I can just put it in my dab pen or continue, and smoke it out of a glass container or cut it in cubes and use my Lookah. So there's so many different ways. Keep your options open. I know a lot of people are just used to rolling joints and just putting it in a metal pipe, but there's so many other ways to smoke it. And for years I smoked out of a metal pipe or a glass pipe, and now then I started using glass water bowls and then bongs, and now I've reverted to this because honestly, I like how it tastes. Good taste, good flavor, always clean, always pure, and it will help with certain things. Stress, anxiety, agoraphobia, cancer per se, lack of appetite, nauseousness, maybe intestinal issues. There's a whole list of medical things that this can help with, the Lookah and the vape. But certain strains help with certain things. Some strains help for pain. Some strains help with mental. If you get a Kush type of wax, a Kush type of crumble, probably helps with both. Anyhow, it's Lord Rick, everybody. I'm about to dip. Happy holidays to you all. And I don't care what you celebrate, just have a safe and happy holiday. Remember not to drink. Remember not to drink, toke, or drive. And if you do, that's at your own risk, because you shouldn't ever be using the Lookah while you're driving. Don't ever use the Lookah when driving. Not sitting still in the parking lot. It's different if you're going to play basketball for 3 hours, you hit the Lookah. But don't sit there at a stoplight and hit the Lookah. Don't Lookah and drive. That's what I'm saying. Don't Lookah and drive just as much as don't drink and drive. And I say this because I've lost too many friends. I've had friends disappear. I've had some friends die from COVID. And I've only seen death these last couple years. I'm blessed that my family and I are safe. I'm blessed. And I'm blessed that we're healthy and well. I'm blessed that I'm healed, because during basketball I had an accident in the wilderness. And I played basketball with multiple injuries. But they're fully healed. I just want to let you know. And since then, I've been going to ghost towns. I've been out by Tonopah. I stayed at the Mitzvah. I went to do the ghost mining camp of Silver Dyke, Ophir Canyon, in the ghost town of Ophir. I was out in Blair, Nevada. Went by Tonopah. Even spent the day out in Manhattan, in some mining camps around Manhattan. Manhattan's a huge ghost town. It's a semi-ghost town, but they have a lot of little cool things. There's a mining camp above town, which was another separate boom, and there's all sorts of structures. Didn't I smell human bodies there at that place?
Dude, it stunk like dead bodies.
Oh.
It was every time we went over the creek.
Oh.
It was the water in the creek.
Well, I'm thinking it was dead bodies, but anyways. Yeah, let me add something in real quick, because I had to ask Tammy, but I thought it was the other place we went. above Manhattan, they have this mining camp. There's some miner cabins. There's this steam. It's a steam furnace, and you put all the ore in it, and it heats up, and you melt the ore. It's a furnace. It was a different or new introduced kind of furnace back in the day, kind of experimental. Great mining camp. I mean, they have all sorts of different buildings, wood structures, mining machinery. It's a pretty cool place to explore. It's above Manhattan, but it's part of Manhattan. It was just so we may include it together on our website because it is all part of the same place. Just you got Manhattan below, New Manhattan, and then you have the mining camp that was above. But afterwards, we went to this place called Ophir, Ophir Canyon, and you cross the creek. Now the water's fresh and raging. Well, we hiked along that creek, and near the ruins, and it did smell like dead bodies. I've never smelled a smell like that in my life. It's maybe a deer died in the creek, was killed by coyotes further up the mountain, but we were almost at the top. I mean, and after that, it becomes snow-capped. And it stunk. It stunk horribly there. And there were some kids playing, and they hid and disappeared. I hope like their parents didn't die and are decaying, and these kids are like Lord of the Flies or something. I don't know. You can't report anything when people just disappear because you don't know. Maybe I'm seeing ghosts. I don't know. Maybe they're ghosts. I don't know. But anyways, I looked down, 50 feet down in the creek next to some ruins. There was a little girl playing, splashing in the water. It looked like two women, maybe a mom and a daughter. I don't know. I don't stare. It's not my business. I'm not some creeper. I don't care. But if you're in need and you're out hiking or you're injured, you should let me know so I can help you out from one hiker to a backpacker. But they weren't in distress. They were playing. They had their socks and shoes off. But the water stunk like dead bodies. And there was like a couple kids playing. And then Tammy goes further up, sees one playing in a miner cabin, and that kid disappears. I mean, is this like some horror flick? There's quite a few horror flicks with ghost children. I don't know. But people tend to like vanish here out in Nevada and the West. Like there's a lot of strange stories like that. And I thought that was weird. But the water stunk. So it's like, am I seeing like, are these like dead bodies and ghosts of children? I don't know. It's a well-visited place. Every day somebody goes up with their Jeeps. And a lot further than I do, and they hike through that and explore the ruins and get wet. It's a popular place. So who am I to say anything other than what I smell? And it smelled really bad. The creek was flowing because of the snow melting. The snow melt, it was a couple warm days. We had some warm weather, and we had fresh snowfall. So it was all fresh water, so it shouldn't have stunk like that. However, there's all sorts of trees, brush, and it's probably been swampy and still water, and the fresh water is washing over that, so that could be the smell. It's a very overgrown canyon, swampy in some areas, wet, and it gets gassy. There are sulfur and gas, and so that's how it smelled, like a dead body. And then you have mountain lion and coyote that hunt the deer in the canyon, and they take them down and eat them and kill them constantly, and then free range of cattle, that kind of thing. So, because I've seen a lot of cattle around there, just running around. Who knows? But the water stunk. It was horrible, but the mansion ruins were cool. Manhattan, the mining camps around Tonopah, Silver Dyke, all that was cool. And I vaped the fuck out of them. I smoked the fuck out of my vape. And I smoked my pipe the whole trip. I was eating fucking marijuana cookies like crazy. I was having a good time. Just a nice trip. Never seen a human being. Off-roading for miles on roads, up canyons, up above peaks. And just checking ruins out, mines, mining cabins. For 2 days straight. And so I'd like to do that in December. Every December we take a wild western type of trip where we'll see a couple ghost towns at least. Because we want you guys to be able to enjoy those rugged roads and the canyons. You have to take those roads, and you have to do those rugged journeys to get the best views. And so that brings me back to the beginning of my film. I like pretty views. I like good food. I like beautiful women. And I like good bud. It's about class. And if you like the finer things in life, that you can like simple things, but you should like finer things in life. Do you want to eat hot dogs at Sonic's or out of a gas station the rest of your life and get diabetes? Or do you want to eat a really good salad and soup that's good for you? Or some fruit? You got to think of life in that aspect. You want to go to some dealer, get some crack lace weed, or do you want pure bud picked from the plant in Oregon? You got to think about those things. Do you want good bud, good oil? And this is pure. This shit's pure oil, pure wax. Everything I'm smoking is pure from Mother Earth. No contaminants, no chemicals, no chemical. They're not raised around chemicals. It's all natural. Pure water, mountain water, snow melt. Healthy water. That's what these are growing with. And they melt down. They get the concentrate out of the weed. It gets strained and melted into a wax or a butter or an oil or a crumble. And when it cools, you cut it and you divide it in squares. And you use those squares for the vapes or put a couple in the glass container so people can dab. You see? Dab. I'm done dabbing. No more for me. I'm good. But anyhow, I'm out, guys. Peace out. I'm glad that Tammy helped me out because I am seriously having memory issues after all this bud I've smoked. So I could not do this film without her. So we have to put her in the credits besides Lord Rick. She's probably like, no, I don't want to be in the credits to that. So everybody, this is Lord Rick. I just want to say this is Lord Rick, also known as AngelOfThyNight. Peace be with you, all you, and thanks for watching. I really appreciate your support. Winston, stop snoring. This is the only one and only Lord Rick. See? I didn't even off. I'm getting into ventriloquism. I can't say it. I'm getting into trying to be a ventriloquist, okay? And it kind of is working out, but it's kind of not working out. And no, I'm not going to be on AGT and make an ass of myself, all right? And if I was going to be on AGT, I would be smoking a Lookah. And I would be really smoking the Lookah to the point that I would be coming out on stage like this. That's how I would be smoking the Lookah. Because you couldn't get me in front of 1 million people any other way. Unless I was running for president.